Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, so I have a question for everyone. Are you clean today? And I'm not talking about your personal hygiene. I'm talking about your energetic hygiene, whether your energy is clean. Have you gotten rid of some of the negative energy around you? How do you do that? We're gonna talk about that today, and I want to say this: you're gonna realize why it's so important. Took me a long time to figure this out. With her help, I have. She is somebody that coaches people on a spiritual journey, offers many different modalities: therapeutic touch, Reiki, sound baths. She knows astrology, and she, without a doubt, knows energy. Jamie Serrato is back with us. How are you doing today?
Hey, Steve. It's so great to see you. I'm doing really well.
Wonderful to have you back here. This whole energy thing, every day that goes on for me, I learn a little bit more about energy, how to deal with it, how to use it to your advantage. Energy cleansing. Why is that important? What's going on here?
So we are energetic beings, right? And everywhere we go, especially if we are empathic and we have a very sponge-like nature, we pick up energies from the people, places, and things that are around us. And if we are around people, places, or things that are vibrating at a lower vibrational rate, that are denser, we can actually have some of that energetic material transferred onto us. And that can make us feel tired. It can make us feel drained, anxious, uncomfortable. So it's important to create routines where you regularly cleanse your energy with that intention in order to stay in a balanced, harmonious state.
If you feel that, all right, let me back up before you even go there. In the last, I've believed in energy and what's going on here for quite some time. I feel like I've been more in tune with it and realizing different scenarios, situations, people, and all of that, and how their energy might affect me. And I just use me as an example here. Not about me, but the other night I was with a group of people, and there was somebody there I've just met that night, and I had some challenges going on. They were sitting to the left of me, and as they're telling their situation, and it's all good, and I'm one of those people, I'm there to help. Like I'm, Mr. Empathetic. I'm there, to be the fixer, whether I want to or not. And his energy was just, after I'm listening, I'm like, whoa, I feel like I'm being pulled down by it. It was all good, but after I left, I just felt a little like drained. And I'm wondering, in a situation that's a little more obvious there, or just in general, should we be replenishing or cleaning our energy?
Yeah, so water. I take a lot of spiritual baths or spiritual showers. I use the intention to cleanse my energy. And you can also add things to the bath or shower like essential oils, crystals, dried flowers, whatever you feel drawn to. Epsom salt is great. Herbs. There are many different things for sale, like on Etsy, that you can purchase. But if you don't have all that, that's okay. You can simply use intention and take the shower or the bath with the intention to cleanse external energies out of your aura.
So it's about the intention.
Yes.
Because a bath is a bath, a shower is a shower. What's the difference between dead skin cells or energy, rolling off of you? But what I'm getting from you is, and I don't know if you could do that. I had no idea that you could cleanse using water, energy using water. Let's say you're taking a shower and you want to get energetically pure. Should you be thinking something? Should you be saying something at that time while you're taking a shower?
You can. You can use words out loud. You can say a prayer to whoever you pray to, God or the universe, source energy. You can speak to your guides or your guardian angel and ask them to help remove anything that doesn't belong out of your field. You can also just do it silently. So if you don't want to talk out loud, that's okay. The universe is hearing your intention. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to say all the right magic words. You can just kind of say it to yourself, or you can say it out loud. That's up to you.
Hmm. This makes perfect sense in watching somebody do Reiki, because I've seen, all different maneuvers where somebody is pulling the negative energy out of you, like literally going like this.
Yes.
And I guess that's symbolic of energy being pulled, but they set the intention to pull that energy out of you. So
Exactly.
it's kind of the same thing with the shower.
Exactly. Like during Reiki, you may notice on someone like a negative energy cord, and a negative energy cord will be dark. Usually it will appear black to the third eye, and that's where you're having a negative energetic relationship with someone. So that could be a toxic relationship. It could just be codependence or something like that, or it could be someone who really doesn't like you and is intentionally sending you negativity. So Reiki practitioners can assist in cutting cords, especially to old relationships. Of course, there are other things you have to do, or else the cord will just kind of grow back, right? But a Reiki practitioner can assist in getting that process started of cutting cords to people, places, and things that are not healthy for you.
As a Reiki practitioner, do you actually see, and I use that loosely because you don't physically see that, negative energy or cord coming out of somebody, but are you energetically seeing that negative energy?
Yes, I see auras and energy fields with my third eye. So I would be able to tell like if a chakra is completely blocked or shut down. And like the situation where you went to the gathering and you saw that man, you could tell his energy was very dense. Most likely he would look like he had like smog in his aura. It's kind of like a material almost that clings to the aura when that person has either negative attachments, addictions, or is just in a very low vibrational state and has a lot of negative thoughts coming into them.
What are some other thoughts to clean that negative energy? What do we do?
So you can use sage. Smoke is also, ironically, an energy cleansing. Not cigarette smoke, obviously, but different herbs, sage, paleo, santo. You can sage around yourself. You can light a sage stick and move it around yourself, again, with the intention to cleanse your energy. And that's also great for clearing spaces, like around your home or inside your home.
I do that. Did we ever talk about saging?
I don't think so.
Um, I've done it a number of times. It's been a long time since I've done it. And something just told me recently, you need to sage. So I saged this office studio. This is not the home thing. I'm in a building. And instead of using a sage stick, I use sage spray. Now, question, could be a little crazy question here, but I've gotten spray before that I don't really know if it was real sage. Came from one of those Bath and Body places. I don't know if it was. Put that aside for a second. Then I got organic, real deal sage spray, and I like to use it instead of the smoke. It just could set off a smoke detector or something like that.
Sure, that's true.
So here's my question: is it okay to use the spray, the organic, real deal, but the other spray that smells like sage, but I don't really know if it's the real deal, is that still okay? And is it really about the intention that you put into its use?
It is about intention. You could use a fake or an artificial spray, but that probably does have chemicals in it. So I would prefer to use the real deal.
Okay.
I think it would be more effective and less likely to cause any side effects, like with your breathing and things like that.
Yeah, and also again with the intent, you're trying to become pure in terms of the energy. Now you're spraying someone's
Exactly.
got chemicals, and I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So all right, fair enough, fair enough. The process of cleansing using sage or even Palo Santo, is it the same for both Palo Santo and sage? And this is what I wrestle with: clockwise, counterclockwise, door open, window close, open, saying certain things, make sure you get into the closets. How do you do it?
I do the closets. I do the bathrooms. I don't have a preference, like as far as Palo Santo being better than sage. I think whatever is on hand is fine. I have an easier time keeping the sage lit. For me, Palo Santo, it seems to like just go out a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
So,
truth.
and then as far as counterclockwise, so if you were doing a specific intention, like let's say a protection ritual around your home, you would want to go clockwise, okay? Because this is setting a positive intent. Whereas if you wanted to undo something, like let's say you wanted to undo a protection ritual that you had done, you would go counterclockwise. So one is more like a positive energy for creating things, and one is more of a negative energy for removing things.
I've heard that sage is to get rid of negative energy, and Palo Santo is to bring in positive energy. Is that true?
That maybe you could consult like a naturopath or an herbalist to get more information on that. But I have not heard that specific thing
So
before.
for you, they both are pretty much cleansing energy.
Yeah, I would say Palo Santo to me carries a more masculine energy, where Sage to me is more feminine, but
Hmm.
they're both equally useful just for cleansing energy.
How often should you not sage a room, but just cleanse your energy? And you gave one example of bath and shower and water.
Mhm.
Are there other ways to do it as well? And how often should you be doing it?
I mean, you can use crystals. Some people like the crystal wands, and they use
Hmm.
those to go around their body or around their home. Um, I obviously do water cleansing every day. I really only sage like if I have a specific reason. Like let's say there was an argument in the home and you could feel a lot of agitation left behind, like residual, then I would go and sage. Or if I was trying to, let's say, manifest something new and I wanted to put a lot of energy into it, I might, say a prayer and then sage to increase the energetic impact. But I don't sage like on a daily basis just to keep my aura clean.
What if you have belongings and or furniture from a toxic relationship and you don't want to get rid of it? Costs money. And let's say it's in fine condition and you are the one that or the recipient of it. Are we talking about saging for that kind of thing?
It depends. I mean, okay. It depends on that object. Whether for me, I would get rid of it if I really felt like it was from a toxic relationship and it
Again,
carried
it's
negative
if
energy.
it's expensive. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I hear
yeah,
you.
if it's not an option to get rid of it, yeah, you absolutely could sage and say prayers over it to have it cleansed. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, Using crystals, so stick a selenite in my hand. Can you use
That's what I was
this?
talking about.
Okay, so and just taking this as almost like a, for lack of a better description, it's a magic wand, and just almost like you're cutting any connection to anything that's negative around you, just around your head, upper body, and just set the intention. Or can you just simply say, negative energy, be gone, stay away from me, love and light to me. Um, I want you out of my life in terms of negative energy. Is something like that is okay to say?
Yep, it can be that simple. And crystals do collect energy on them, like when they protect you.
Ooh.
Jewelry could do that. I wear this necklace for protection, and I do have to cleanse it. So you can just wash it with soap and water to get rid of any residual energy that it may have been collecting and protecting you from.
I never thought of that. And also when you got to take a shower or bath every day anyway. So while you're doing it, set that intention to cleanse energy. And also, I have a bunch of bracelets. They all have a meaning. I never thought that they could be, let's say you're in a bad situation, taking on some of that energy. So I don't take them off so they get wet in the shower too. So should I be saying something? Should we say something about those items?
Every so often, yes. Like I'll go for long periods where I don't wash the necklace and I just, cleanse in the shower. But then there are times where I can feel it's picked something up and I wash it with soap and water with intention and that will remove it.
Is there anything we can do to our chakras? Like you mentioned third eye before. I guess it's regular maintenance on your chakras. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
It really is. It really is. And just simple things like taking care of your health are important for keeping, your chakras regulated, like taking walks, especially out in nature, being barefoot if you can, going swimming in like a natural body of water. It helps raise your vibration and cleanse your energy as well.
Wow. Any other things that we should be mindful of when it comes to energy and staying pure?
Those are the main methods of energy cleansing that I would go over. Yeah.
Would you say that let's say you go to a concert or you go to see a cover band, tribute band at a venue, you're around a lot of people.
Yeah.
Would you say in those situations that you definitely should be cleansing after that?
Absolutely. Especially if you're in a place where there is drug use, alcohol, cigarette smoke, people arguing, crime. Like I used to live in New Jersey and it was very, very energetically dense because it was a city area,
Yep.
right? So especially if you live in a city, if you commute, if you're on subways, things like that, you definitely are going to want to cleanse your energy.
When you pick up negative energy, how is it getting to you? Is it just being in the presence of it, or is it somebody intentionally throwing negative energy at you?
It can be both. So you can just pick up random energies from going to the grocery store, being on the bus, people that you're not even like talking to, right? They can transfer energy to you just like, when it rains, you get wet, right? Right. So in that way, energy is transferred from person to person. But then there are also situations where you can be in a relationship and not realize that that person maybe isn't as spiritually evolved as you or doesn't have pure intentions for you. And they are literally draining your energy. That can happen too.
Let's say you have a meeting, a work meeting, and you want a favorable outcome. Let's say you're asking for a raise. Let's say you're a salesperson and you're trying to get new business, trying to close the deal. Should you do something before you embark on those things to make sure you're as energetically pure? And that being said, is it possible that negative energy could impact the outcome?
Well, I wouldn't want to make people like paranoid, like, oh, I have a work meeting today, but I don't have time to shower before. Obviously, try to get in a routine where you're normally energetically cleansing. But what really comes to mind when you say that is something Abraham Hicks has talked about called pre-paving. And she introduced a technique where, let's say tomorrow you have this big meeting. So to pre-pave that timeline that you're about to step into, you can meditate, you can focus and send positive energy to that upcoming event and visualize, imagine it going as well as possible. And that can be very helpful to help you prepare for events.
Interesting, because energy has no time and space. So if you're thinking about it coming up, it's now, essentially. It's funny you should say that. When I'm going to an event, let's say it's a networking event, let's say it's a social gathering, it doesn't matter what it is. For decades, I've always been in the habit of visualizing how it's going to go. I've already been there. I already see it. I know what people are wearing. I know what the dynamics are going to be.
That's great.
How are people going to interact? So it's less uneasy for me because I feel like I've been there. And I wrestle with this, Jamie. It turns out exactly the way I think it's going to, for better or for worse. But I often wonder, is it my third eye seeing it, or did I manifest the outcome? So I kind of wrestle with that.
I would say to some degree, you're probably just in alignment with your higher self. And the higher self already lives outside of time. So your higher self knows everything, right? So the way I see it, you're just connected and you are almost remote viewing in a way. You're almost aware of what's going to happen before it happens.
I believe that, but of course the mind gets in the way, and I'm wondering, let's say, let's hypothetical here. Let's say you're meeting somebody for the first time, communicating on a dating app, and you think of how it's going to go. Like, this is probably going to, but you know what? Let me see if it'll be better than what I think. And it just turns out the way you envisioned it to be. You're saying that your higher self has already been there, already knew.
That's one way we practice our intuition, right? Is by making sometimes the wrong choice. Like my intuition told me this party was going to be a waste of time and I was going to hate it. And sure enough, I got here and I hated it. So that's how we learn to listen to our intuition. And then we start saving a lot of time because we're not opening up extra timelines that we don't need.
So I'm scheduled to do something this evening, and my intuition is telling me, I don't need to go into detail. It doesn't matter. It's a waste of time. It's a business connected meeting. And my intuition is telling me, it's a waste of time. But then the other part of me is like, just go through the motions to say in your mind that you did. Mm-hmm. But to your point, and I'll let you know how it turns out. But I just know that's what I'm hearing. That's what I can't ignore it. Anytime I don't listen to my intuition, I'm wrong.
Yep. And that's actually how we ascend, is by learning to listen to the voice that's saying you don't need to go to this, because then you're releasing any fears or limiting beliefs you have about, well, I might miss out on something. And instead you're choosing the higher timeline.
But on the reverse, and there's no harm done in showing up at this business meeting. But then there's a part of me that's saying, well, if you don't go, you potentially miss an opportunity. But larger than that is the intuition saying, it's a waste of time. But no harm done. 20 minutes, whatever it's going to be. Mm-hmm. I have to go.
I mean, if it's required by your job, obviously go.
It's not really required. It's something sales related that, would be beneficial. But then again, everything is relative. So maybe it won't be beneficial soon, but I might be banking something for the future in terms of an outcome. But again, intuition says, I don't know. But I have to, like you just said, prove it right or prove it wrong.
Absolutely. And just one more thing I want to bring up before we go. You can also send positive energy to past timelines. So let's say you had a traumatic event when you were 17. You can send positive healing energy to that event and help your younger self heal, since everything is happening now.
Oh, you just opened up the door to something. So I've done a timeline regression and it was for negative emotions. And the way the practitioner did it, it was really a hypnotherapy session. Okay. But it ties in exactly what you're saying, and I want to get confirmation on this. Mm-hmm. I was told to think back to the first time you can ever remember being sad. The first time you can ever think, going back to the first time that you experienced grief, whatever the emotions were. I can't even remember. Yeah. One of them was sadness. And I was told that if you go back to the beginning, along the way from the beginning, and you could have been 3 years old if you can remember back that far, other situations along your timeline of life, once you pull that one out, almost like, like the cartoon, you pull a rug out and then everybody on top of the rug goes flying. you remove all the other stuff on your timeline that was an experience of sadness related to that. Doesn't mean you're never going to feel sad again. Is that similar to what you're referring to?
Yes, and I've done something similar. It was called EMDR, but it regressed me back to a memory when I was 3 where I experienced pain, fear, and abandonment. And I went back to that moment, and I'm not sure exactly how it worked, but we purified that memory, that pain. And yes, the earliest memories that we carry tend to be kind of stored in us, and then we can replicate them and repeat them.
Wow. That is so cool. I didn't even realize that, and you just backed up what I thought. Final thought, it's my understanding and or belief that the first memories we have are usually negative. Think about the very, very, very first, when I'm going back to 3, whatever it might be, is negative. And I believe or have heard that is because your subconscious, your energetic field wants to protect you. So instead of remembering all the good times, that's great, you remember the bad times as a protection aspect of your life. I don't know if that's true or not, but when I think back to being a kid, my first memories are not good. Like I fell, cracked my head open when I was 3. Never forget it. My mom was screaming, ran downstairs in the apartment complex. There was a medical practitioner. And I still remember this. And he opens the door and she's like, my kid, my son. And he's like, I'm a dentist. I can't help you. So then she freaked out even more. And then I had sunburn really bad, around the same age. Those are the memories I have. I don't know if you experienced that, or I don't even know if this is true, but it's there to protect you.
Yeah, I never really thought of it in the there to protect you way. I just know the brain likes to associate emotion with memory. Okay. So whatever that really strong emotion was, it was memorable to you.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. Super cool. All of the stuff that you have experienced, what you share with everybody. How do we connect with you?
You can go to www.calmerwaterscoaching.com, or you can email me at jamie@calmerwaterscoaching.com.
Love that name, Calmer Waters. Says it all. After speaking with you today, Jamie, I feel dirty. Energetically dirty. Need Calmer Waters to cleanse. Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.